Hello and welcome to my channel Little Dashy Creations. In this video today I'm going to be showing you how to make this cute little granny square. It's kind of a mix between two granny squares really. It starts out as a classic granny square, but instead of using treble crochets of 3 we're going to do treble crochet clusters of 3 for a couple of rounds. We're then going to finish it off with the solid granny square technique. I just think it looks really nice together. It gives a nice kind of flowery petal star design in the middle, and then always looks nice when you finish with a solid border. So we're going to do that today, and the yarn I'm going to be using is just this 50-50 yarn. It's 50% cotton and 50% acrylic, but you can use absolutely any yarn that you'd like to use. This is a 4mm yarn, but I'm going to actually use a 3.5mm crochet hook today just to give it a nice tighter, smaller stitch. I'll be using UK terminology, but I'll also put a US conversion in there as well, so if you're watching from over in the US you can follow along as well. So let's make a start. So for round 1 we're going to work 3 treble cluster crochets in the centre, so there'll be 4 in the centre with a chain of 3 in between. So let's begin. So I'm just going to do a slip knot to tie on. Pop my scissors out and with it. And to start off with, I'd just like to chain 4. You can do a magic ring if you prefer, but I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and I'm going to join this to make a circle. I'm just going to go into the first chain and pull through again, and then I'm going to work into the center of this ring. So for my first treble cluster crochet, I'm just going to chain 2, and this is going to count as my first stitch or part of the first cluster. So the first one will actually be a chain of 2 plus 2 treble cluster crochets, or a double cluster if you're watching from the US. So I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to go through the center, I'm going to pull up, and then I'm going to pull through 2. I'm going to do that again, yarn over, through the center, pull up and pull through 2. And for this first one, when I've got 3 hoops on my hook, I'm going to pull through all 3. So this is the first of my 3 treble cluster crochets, or double cluster crochets if you're watching from the US. I'm then going to chain 3, and I'm going to do another 3 treble cluster crochets, or 3 double cluster crochets from the US. So it's yarn over, into the center, pull up a hoop, and pull through 2, yarn over, through the center, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, I'm going to yarn over again, through the center, pull up a hoop, yarn over and pull through 2. And now we're going to, when we've got 4 hoops on the hook, that's when we will now pull through. And then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. So we're going to repeat that another 2 times, so that in total we have 4 of our clusters. So yarn over, got 4, pull through and then chain 3. I'm going to do 1 more of those in there, so that's yarn over, through the center, oops, pull up a hoop and pull through 2, yarn over, through the center, yarn over, pull through 2, 1 more, pull through 2, 4 on the hook, pull through and then chain 3. So we've got our 4 sets of clusters now, so we can join this ring together, and we're just going to do a slip stitch in the top of the first cluster. So if you can find your 2 chains that you did, so 1, 2, and the top of your cluster is the one just above that, so that's here. And I'm just going to do a slip stitch to join them together. So that's our first round. We're going to continue with our 3 treble cluster crochets, and we want to start in this chain 3 space here. So I'm just going to do a slip stitch. I'm going to slip stitch my way all the way along there just until I'm comfortably in that chain 3 space, and then I'm going to start working my 3 treble cluster crochets again. So to begin with, we're just going to chain 2. It'll count as part of the first stitch, so we just need to do 2 treble cluster crochets for this first one to finish it off. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, and when we've got 3 we can pull through all 3. So that's our first one. We can chain 3 again, and we're going to do another cluster in the very same chain 3 space. So yarn over, so this will be our 3 treble cluster crochet, or 3 double cluster crochet if you're watching from the US. So here we have, and then chain 3. We can move over now to our next chain 3 space, so we're going to continue doing 2 in each of these. So let's yarn over into the space, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And when we have our 4, we can pull through all 3 and then chain 3. 1, 2 and 3. So we'll work another one into that space, so we want 2 in each of these spaces now. And then chain 3. Then we can move over to our next space and do another 2 lots in there. Chain 3 and do another one in that same space. 1, 2 and 3. Chain 3, move over to the next space, or the last space as it were, and do our 2 lots of 3 treble cluster crochets. Quite a mouthful, isn't it? 3 treble cluster crochet, or 3 double cluster crochet. The last one, so now we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to join this round together in exactly the same way we did the last one. So we're going to find our chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to join into the top of that first cluster that we did by doing a slip stitch. And that is round 2 complete. Okay, so now ready for round 3, and we're going to start making this into a solid square. So for our next round, we're going to move into doing regular treble crochets now, or regular double crochets if you're watching from the US. But we're going to again start in the corner, or in this space rather. So we're going to slip stitch our way along. You could also join a different colour at this point if you wanted to. You could tie off at this point and just join a different colour into any of these spaces. I'm going to choose one of these spaces to start our corner. But I'm going to stick with this colour because I quite like it all being the same colour. So once you're comfortably in your chain 3 space, we're going to chain 3. And this is going to count as a treble crochet. We're now going to do another treble crochet into this space. So this is a full treble crochet, so a full one, or a double crochet if you're watching from the US. We're then going to chain 2 because this is going to be our corner, so it's going to be the corner here. And then we're going to work another 2 treble crochets into the same chain 3 space, or double crochet if you're from across in the US. So here's our corner. We're now going to work a treble crochet in the top of this cluster here. So we're going to find the top of our cluster and we're going to work our treble crochet or double crochet, and then we're going to move into the chain 3 space and we're going to work 3 treble crochets. Remember, these are not clusters anymore, these are regular old treble crochets. We're then going to work another one in the top of this cluster. So you can find the very top of the cluster and work ourselves a treble crochet. We're now back to another space, so we're going to work 2 into this space. And this is actually going to be another corner. So after we've done 2 trebles, we're going to chain 2 and then work another 2 into the same space. So as you can see, we're now starting to turn this square. And then we're going to do exactly the same along on each side. So in each top of the cluster we'll work our treble crochet. We'll then move into the space and work 3 trebles or doubles, back to a cluster, so we'll work 1 into the top of the cluster. Into the space we're going to do 2, followed by a chain of 2 and then another 2, because this is going to be another corner. And if you've worked a solid granny square before, you can start to see this is normally how you would do it. We're back at a cluster, so we're going to work at the top of a cluster and then back into this space here with 3 trebles. Back into a cluster, so find the top of your cluster, and if you're struggling to find it, sometimes there is 2. I think as long as you get 1 in either one of these, we're going to be fine. And then we're going to work 2 into the next space, because this is going to be another corner, followed by your chain of 2, followed by another 2 into the same space. And we're going to finish this side all the way along in the same way. So 1 into the top of the cluster, 3 into the chain 3 space, and there should be 1 space left just to do 1 more now, or 1 cluster left. And then on each side we should have a total of 9 posts all the way along. So we can now join this one together. So this is our first chain, so we're just going to join at the top of this chain 3 that we did to begin with. So we're just going to go in through the top with a slip stitch. And there we have our round 3 complete. So on each side there should be 9 posts, so you can count them along: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that should be the same on each side. Okay, so we're now ready for round 4. So we're going to continue with our solid technique, and we're just going to work our treble crochets in the top of each stitch. So we can just begin by chaining 3. 1, 2 and 3, and then we're going to work a treble crochet into the top of each stitch. So we've just got 1 more left on this row, so we're going to just go into the very next one and work our treble crochet, and then we're going to go into the corner at this point. So we're going to again work 2 into the corner and another one, and just like before, after working 2 we're going to chain 2 and then work another 2 into the same space. 1 and 2, and then we're just going to continue working a treble crochet into the top of each of the stitches along, and then the same in the corners with 2 treble crochet, a chain 2 and 2 treble crochet, and we're going to do that right the way along. So to find your first one, I always just look for my first post and just go into the first one, so which is here, and then just continue right the way along, and there'll be a total of 13 posts on each side for this round. Once you get to your corner, you can, as always, 2 treble crochets followed by a chain of 2 and then 2 into the very same space. And continue the same along. Again, you can look for your first post, so you know where to start, and continue all the way along. Okay, so we're almost back to where we started now. One more. So on this round you should have 13 posts on each side. So if you wanted to just have a double check, or if you was confused of where you are, you can always double check. But I'm going to now join in the top of my chain 3. And that's our round 4 complete. You can continue if you want to do it a little bit bigger. You can obviously do the same again and do another round. You'll be adding 4 posts each time. So if this one's got 13, your next round will have 17 and so on, if you wanted to go on and on. But I'm going to end there with the treble crochets. I'm just going to do one last round of double crochets all the way around, just for neatness. So it's a single crochet for you guys in the US, or a double crochet for the UK. So I'm going to start by chaining 1, and then I'm just going to do 1 double crochet in the top of each stitch around. And just as I get to the corner, I'm going to do 1 double crochet, and then I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to do another double crochet in each corner. And then just like before, just find your next post and work your double crochet all the way along. In each corner, do 1 double crochet, chain 1 and 1 double crochet. So if you do that all the way around, and I'll see you at the other side. Okay, so we're just about back where we started. And the last one, and then to finish up, I'm just going to slip stitch into that very first chain that we did. And at this point, I'm going to tie off. So I'm just going to pull that one out. I'm just going to snip here, and then just pull through to tie off my work. There we go. So that's just about finished now. Obviously you still need to weave in all of your ends, just with your wool needle, just weave them in nice and neatly, just to make sure they don't unravel. Also, I would recommend you blocking your squares. As you can see, this one that I did earlier has already been blocked and it's nice and sharp and square, whereas this one's just a bit wobbly and everything. So just by blocking your squares will make them a lot neater. And what I tend to do is that little chain one space that you did on your corner, I tend to find that and just pop them on your block by using that. You can spray it with a little bit of water, leave those overnight, or even just for a little while, a few hours until they're dry, and they will be lovely and sharp and square. But that's absolutely lovely. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, don't forget to give me a like, a thumbs up, and consider subscribing to my channel, and then hopefully I'll see you on another video. And thanks for watching, and happy crochet.